Hi guys, I wanted to bring you some stuff on the first Earth age, like I talked about. The scroll of time, scroll of life, and what's going on with it. And we have three Earth ages, you guys, but it's the same Earth. Three heaven ages, the same heaven. And that third heaven Earth age is to come. I got some papers that I'll be showing you guys as we go along here. And like, if you think in the beginning when God created us, you guys, everything God's science is right with it. Like when you look at things in the Bible, look for the scientific part of it too, because God used all things because He is all things. He's science. Everything breaks down. If you look into atoms and the molecules and what stuff is made up of, okay, and just like that flower of life, you guys, that is just like from that single point there. From God birthed the universe in this fabric, in this space-time, okay? All things created came from one point. God, it was that point. And all things are in motion. Our time is in light and dark, that's flesh. But eternal fruit is a spirit of light. Light is creation, light is energy set in motion. No time, only birth of new continuously. It's a never look back, all just as if it becomes as it always is, amazing, and that's when we gather back. It's the flower of life. It just didn't start at flesh, you guys. You gotta look at deeper than these things. And see, this was the spiritual age right here, and Satan had rebelled in this, you guys. And in a sense, this time, this black part is where it was stretched out that we'll show here in a minute. And God had ended this. He created us, you guys. If we could put every one of us, no matter what color you are and all that stuff, and it don't matter, and we're all children of God. But if you guys think of color as facial features and different ways, how each group has certain characteristics about them. God created us all that way, and He loves us. Every one of us. He said it was perfect. But if you could take everyone alive, dead, and that's here today, you guys, and put them in the right order that like God created us, you know, and each one of our families in the big different categories, all that is like taken as God as an artist, and He drew in different features. And you could put all of us in a book, and you could flip it, and that would be God's face, because we're all a little bit of God. A little bit of His energy to make us, and we're a little bit of what He is made up of, what He looks like. And that's how God is in each one of us, you guys. And the battle broke out, and Satan challenged the mercy seat. When we were in the spiritual bodies, guys, like I'll show you here, this is like how we're going to come back, okay? And this first one here is when the dimensions, it was spiritual, and we were here on Earth, and dinosaurs were here, you see, okay? And He created us, He placed us here. Heaven and earth was together, and you got to know a little bit about dimensions. When Satan and the children started being misled, God's throne left, like He warned. That was like His coming of Christ here in spiritual bodies. Although He was right there and everyone knew Him, we were just being taught discernment. And Satan became a Hitler in the way that he wouldn't just let you test and then improve on it or pass the test and leave you alone. He would continually keep testing you there until you sin. So see, that's one of the reasons why we're here, is because of Satan, and he misled there. So God ending that age, bringing them all of us back to heaven so none will perish. And then He was going to have us born of flesh, just like we are now, you guys. That's when the rebellion came about in heaven, okay? That's when God said, well, if you won't be born of flesh, then He's kicked out of heaven. That didn't mean God threw him out. That meant He had no more seat. He had no more place as cherubim that covereth, that we read about in Ezekiel 28. He's kicked out. So He leaves. So it says that's where the word fallen comes from. They left their place of habitation. So now they're fleeing from God, running around the earth. And you see that intermixture and stuff of the giants. But, okay, the rebellion knocked true north off, like I've talked about in my other videos, you guys. Okay, and this is coming back. And just like we have a tropical environment with the dinosaurs, that's where it's going back to. And when Christ comes, it'll be cleansed by fire. We'll have that Lord's Day, the 1,000 years of teaching for those that didn't get a chance, like I had talked about in my other ones. And once that, the firmament above the earth, you guys, goes back to where it's supposed to, and below the earth that the Bible talks about, okay, then the earth is going to be rejuvenated. And I'll go into some more detail on that, but look at some more slides here. Like 1/3 fought for God and 1/3 fought for Satan when that rebellion happened, you guys. 1/3 stood idle and didn't care either way, or were undecided. All people there were born of flesh, agreed. Satan ran, and his angels too, and they left their place of habitation when God expelled them from their positions in heaven, which means to exist for God was their purpose, to work, to cover, to protect, because Satan had his army and they failed, and now they made themselves void, you guys. And the Ice Age caused by Satan's rebellion, but God still has those who are loyal. Satan abandoned and left. Like all that 1/3 that fought against him, he left. See, his army and him, they only had the transportation to leave that dimension and flee. Everyone else that helped fought, he was like, "Hey, see you guys, suckers," and he took off. So see, Satan don't care about you. It even says in the Bible he doesn't know the people that are lost. He doesn't care about you. He wanted a superior angelic race. That's why how he and Hitler imitated each other. They wanted superior. Then if you wasn't good enough or you didn't pass, well, you didn't make the cut. Sorry, see ya. And the Earth Age, you guys, if you could see this, yeah, see, this is the dinosaurs here, and how it was tropical and a little bit of snow, and the middle one is the Ice Age. See the key there, and then this was like 80s or 90s something here, this last one, but they scream global warming, and yeah, pollution and that stuff, that does, and it always has, caused a little bit, but we can't destroy the earth because God takes care of it, and He's got His angels that make sure that it doesn't get torn up. But we're going back. You can see how we're going back to how it was at the dinosaurs, you guys. Plus, north is coming back, okay? Just like we had the different stages of when the dinosaurs were here, and how time went out. Science and God is right along. When that rebellion happened, that's why some of the highest places on earth are at the bottom of the sea, and why some of the lowest places are at the top, because true north was knocked off. And that wasn't Noah's flood. Noah's flood is when the firmament was taken away, you guys, the purity of the air. And it started going away. It was disrupted when true north was knocked off, but it was still in effect, and it was dying out. And when the fountains of the great deep that were opened up, that we hear about Noah's flood and the different floods, it said all over the world, but when you look up that word, that's earth, terra firma, so that could mean just the area where the giants were, and that's probably why we find flood accounts for a whole group of people at times. And archaeology studies will show you, and you can go deeper in that. But God's hand, like at the beginning of this scroll, He rolled it out, you guys. So time rolled out clockwise. So that's just like time went out all the way until Christ was on the cross. And then that's where the scroll would start rolling up, and it repeated. And if you look at the events, they don't always line up on each other, okay? They don't exactly hit at the same place on every time. Or they can hit right on. But the point is it's repeating itself, okay? And we'll come back in the next one, and we'll talk about this some more. Thanks for watching, you guys, and like, this is for everybody. Whoever wants to learn. Love you guys. Bye.